What is up, everyone? Welcome back to another Kali Linux tutorial, and today we're going to be looking at the network and port scanner tools, which are part of the information gathering group. But we are going to take a closer look at the following tool, which is Nmap, and it's my all-time favorite tool to use in the field. Now, there's a few things that I want to tell you guys about this tool, and the other tool that is under this category is also masscan. We briefly saw this tool in a previous video, which was in the live hosted notification video. And if you're interested in seeing that, I'm going to leave that link down in the description. So this video is going to be a lot more or even all about the tool Nmap. Now, if you want to see masscan, please leave a like down below or comment down below as well. And if I get 1,000 likes on this video, I will do a video where I'm going to use masscan to scan the whole internet. So if you want to check that out, please make sure I get to 1,000 likes and I'll see what I can do. So to get started, obviously you need the Nmap tool installed, and for those that are using Kali Linux or Parrot OS, you are lucky because it already comes installed. Now for those that are using Windows system, can also use this Nmap tool on this operating system, and I'm going to leave the download link down in the description. Now personally, and as my preference, I like to use Nmap in a Linux environment because it's a lot faster than running it on a Windows system. That's just my opinion. I may be wrong, but in most cases, that's what I've seen so far. Now let's go ahead and open up the Nmap tool, and you can do this by going to your Kali Linux menu, go over and select the information gathering and expand the network and port scanners group, and you should see the masscan and Nmap right there. So all you need to do at this point is click on the Nmap, and that should open up a separate or a new terminal. And once you click on it, like any other tool in Kali Linux, it's going to pull up the Nmap manual, which in this case is going to tell you what options are available to use this tool with, as far as what you want to include when it comes to running a scan and the results you want to gain from that scanning process. And you also have a couple of examples of the usage of this tool. Now, some of these options include the target specification, host discovery, scan techniques, port specification, and scan order, and a lot more. Now, additionally, Nmap also has scripts that you can run on a target to get more in-depth knowledge of the service. In this case, if it's exposed or if it's exploitable, if it's vulnerable, and all of that. So we're going to look at these scripts here shortly. So to start off with an Nmap scan, obviously we're going to use the Nmap command. And in this case, I'm going to show you an example as far as scanning for the port 80 on the network, which in this case, I'm specifying the -P to let Nmap know that I want to look for port 80, and then followed by the IP range that I want to scan. In this case, it's going to be a /24 of the current network that I'm currently in. So once you have your Nmap command with all your options that you need, all you need to do here is hit enter. Now I'm going with this simple Nmap scan because I don't want to wait more than I should, and I just want to show you this example so that you can see what type of results, what type of information it's returned once this Nmap scan completes. Now that we have the Nmap scan completed, you're going to notice that several addresses came up, and it's showing the port number and the service, which in this case is HTTP. And for the state, you're going to come across that many are going to show either open, closed, or filtered. Now let me explain these three just briefly here. Now keep in mind that these statuses or these states for each of these hosts depend on the three-way TCP handshake. Now, if you don't know what that means or what that is about, can somebody please put that description down in the comments, please, so that everyone can see what I'm talking about. Now, first of all, when it comes to an open port, obviously it's really self-explanatory here, because when a scan launches, is going to look for that port, and obviously if it's open, that means there is a service behind that port that is currently listening. Now for the closed port, obviously again it's self-explanatory because it is closed. There's no service running behind that port, and therefore is returning a closed state. Lastly, for the filtered state, this is a little bit different. And ultimately, it means that some network device dropped the packet is behind a firewall. So in many cases, it could be other network devices, but most likely is going to be a firewall that's going to drop that packet because it's not allowing that type of connection to that certain destination, which in this case, it's port 80. So before I continue with the Nmap scripts, I like to mention that there is a GUI application of Nmap, and in this case, it's called Nmap. Now, most likely you're not going to have this installed, but it's pretty simple on how to install it, which it's the default apt command followed by install and then the name of the package, which in this case is Nmap. I also want to mention if you run into any issues when running the Nmap scan for certain options, then the next step to do is that you should try running the Nmap scan with elevated permissions. In this case, I'm talking about root, and you can also use the sudo command. So just keep that in mind. For those that are not familiar with Nmap and their scripts, what you need to do here is go over to this directory, which is the user/share/nmap/scripts. This is where you're going to have the list of Nmap scripts that you can use. And what I'm doing here is I'm basically going to output the list of these scripts in the terminal. So if you want to do that, go ahead and use ls space -l, or you can just use ls as well, but I prefer adding the -l or the -l to list all of them in the terminal. So once you hit enter, you're going to see many scripts in this directory. Now, if you're not familiar with these, then I suggest that you should Google some of these scripts, what are the most common ones that are being used in the field, and just get familiar with these type of tools, because ultimately it's going to give you that information that you need in order to proceed with an appropriate penetration testing phase, which in this case we're talking about information gathering. And at one point, some of these scripts are also going to tell you if that service is vulnerable or not. You can proceed with the next phase of the penetration testing, which is exploitation, planning your attack vector, right? So really important. Another thing to keep in mind when it comes to Nmap scripts are additional arguments or options that you can use within these scripts, right? So just keep that in mind. And what you can do here is you can pretty much open these scripts in a text editor to find out a little bit more information about the script to see as to what is needed in order for the script to run properly with Nmap. Now at this point you're wondering, so how are we going to call out that script? And it's really simple and really straightforward, and all you need to do here is issue the nmap command followed by --script followed by the name of the script. Okay, so let me show you an example. So in this case I'm using nmap, and I'm going to scan the port 80, which right now I'm missing the -p, and I'm using this port because I'm going to do a DNS brute force by using the nmap script. And in this case, I'm calling it out by using the --script followed by dns-brute.nse space followed by the target. In this case, my target is going to be example.com. Now, once you have your script, your options, and everything in place, and your target, because it's really important, right? If you don't have the target, then who are you going to be scanning? So very important that you double check your command, make sure there's no typos. And if you're running into any issues as far as permissions, then at that point you need elevated permissions by root or by using the sudo command. That being said, if you're done with your command, go ahead and hit enter. And just very quick, who caught that? Who caught my typo that I pretty much mistyped the nmap command? So go ahead, like I said, double check your command, and once you're ready, just hit enter. So once your script finishes, you're going to get a lot of information from Nmap, and in my case, I was using a DNS brute force for brute forcing host names, which in this case subdomains, and for example.com, there's none to be found. So in this case, it's just giving me the www.example.com and the IP address and so on. So that is the information that I got from scanning this target. Now it could depend on what target you use, so just keep that in mind that the results can vary a lot. And that is it for today's tutorial, you guys. I hope you guys like it. I hope you guys get into the Nmap tool, because honestly, I highly recommend it. Now, ultimately, it depends up to you as far as getting better and better at using these tools. And what you need to do here is practice and practice. And like I said, we didn't get a chance to look over masscan because we have previously saw that tool in a previous video. And like I said at the beginning of this video, I left that link down in the description. So go ahead and check it out if you want to see masscan. And I also mentioned that if I get 1,000 likes on this video, I'm going to do a separate video where I'm going to use masscan and I'm going to scan the whole internet. So go ahead and drop a like. Let's get to 1,000 so I can do this video. And again, I appreciate you guys watching all of my tutorials. Don't forget to smack that bell if you want to get notified on future videos on these Kali Linux videos, which I'm doing a series where I'm going to review all the tools. So don't change it. Stay tuned because I'm going to be right back. Thank you.